несколько автопортретов сделал. Первые автопортреты вот это.
I made several self-portraits. The first self-portrait is the start of self-development, when you live your life in studies. And the second, at the end of the years, which includes everything that you have gone through.
Все, что ты прошел.
Владимир Сергеевич Tverdokhlebov.
Vladimir Sergeyevich Tverdokhlebov. First of all, he is a monumental artist who received an excellent education at the Mukhinsky Art School. This is one of the educational institutions that provided an excellent base. This is generally a very special type of thinking, because when working with a huge space, you need to understand very well the laws of architecture, harmony, proportion. In the master, the tendencies of a monumental artist are very organically combined, who is also absolutely organic in chamber creative works.
Абсолютно органичен еще и в камерных творческих произведениях.
Wandering around Almaty, especially in its central part, popularly called the Golden Square, is like breathing poetry. There is something in it that remains in the hearts forever. Such a captivating charm. One of the most beloved places is the Zodiac Fountain, Eastern calendar. Admiring its beauty and freshness, we know nothing about the artist who invented all this. And the name of this artist is Vladimir Sergeyevich Tverdokhlebov. He arrived in Almaty one of the wonderful spring days many years ago from Leningrad with a group of artists at the invitation of the government of the Republic of Kazakhstan to create a new exposition of the Central Museum.
Мы очень хорошо сделали всю реконструкцию, весь музей, и мне пришлось.
We have done very well the whole reconstruction, the whole museum, and I had to get acquainted with the culture. With the entire Kazakh culture in the material, all the artifacts, feel them, look at them. And then I decided to stay here in Kazakhstan. Although I was distributed in St. Petersburg, there was a lot of competition to get these professional artists, because the Mukhinsky School was famous. This school was founded in the last century by Baron von Stiegels.
Это еще в позапрошлом веке создана была эта школа бароном фон Штиглицем.
Vladimir wanted to study in the best university in the Union. It was his vocation. It was a difficult way. He always wanted to become an artist. Father drew well, sculpted well. He graduated from the secondary art school before the revolution. His uncle, Ivan Grigorievich Tverdokhlebov, was the chief artist of the city of Grozny, chairman of the Union of Artists, a sculptor, a famous honored worker. He participated in the whole war, and these impressions remained for life. In Leningrad, he would have had a brilliant career. It would be, but big things awaited him.
В Москве выставка Республик Средней Азии и Казахстана.
In Moscow, there was an exhibition of the republics of Central Asia and Kazakhstan in the big Manigay. I did the whole project. It was successful. It was opened by Furtseva, Minister of Culture of the USSR. Then I had a job, the Avezov Museum. In '72, I did the entire exposure. He loves Almaty forever, and his whole creative life is a dedication to this city and this country, which he calls his homeland.
В Казахстане здесь у нас полная свобода. Я вот здесь уже сколько, 53 года.
In Kazakhstan, we have complete freedom. I've been here for how long? 53 years. For 53 years, I believe that I was able to express myself and still bring some kind of joy to people. For me, beauty is nature. You will all find the most beautiful in nature, and people who are closely related to nature, even ordinary people. I like it in Kazakhstan, and in general, here are ordinary people, yurts. We walk through the mountains as people live. It is very close because all people are open, beautiful, unspoiled. The earth is very fertile. People still have not appreciated it.
Земля очень благодатная, ее еще до сих пор не оценили люди. Был такой призыв со стороны руководства не только города, а даже правительства, чтобы...
There was such a call from the management that architects and artists took part in the creation of the fountain. When I was still working at the museum, I liked the animal style in the art of the ancient Scythians, Saka Usuns, etc., those artifacts. And here the 12-year Oriental calendar strongly affected me, because until 1924 in the Republic, it was in effect, and only in 1924, like Nowruz, many holidays, such traditional Kazakh ones, were cancelled, and I suggested this little sketch. But this is purely artistic work, and it is so deep, because here is a cosmos, everything is included.
Я когда маленький вот этот фор-эскиз, который у меня там находится, предложил, но это чисто художественная работа получилась у нас. И она такая глубокая, потому что здесь вот и космос, все затронуто.
Here is the sun in the middle of the fountain and 12 bronze images of animals around, expressing the special characteristic form of science and symbols of the Eastern calendar. The bottom of the fountain is decorated with a mosaic of the opened lotus. Then on the pedestals there are the names of animals and years. We have successfully completed all this work at the electrical installation plant. I made the sketches myself, very grandiose, and made the mosaic.
И вот уже на протяжении почти 4 десятилетий.
And for 4 decades it has been such a historical place in the center of our beloved city. It is interesting that the very architectonics of this project, that it is organic in itself, as an independent work of the art, and at the same time very organically fits into the surrounding space, very consonant with the forms of this green massif of the square, the park that surrounds it.
И когда он делал фонтан, он действительно, вот мой папа, он же все-таки тоже ему подсказывал, как казах.
And when he made this fountain, my dad told him like a Kazakh. It is not so easy for a Russian person to make the Eastern calendar, and I talked to Margulan, an academician, because there are differences even from the Japanese calendar. There is a dragon, and we do not have a dragon. Therefore, these are all sorts of details. He carefully discussed everything. And these winged animals, I do not remember that someone made them in Kazakhstan. It is the images of these animals. This is also his discovery. He put his whole soul into it. And we still walk by the fountain every evening. I told him, let's at least take another route. No, let's go to the fountain. We have a road to the fountain, around the fountain. He looks at everything carefully. In general, this is his real brainchild.
Около фонтана он все внимательно смотрит, как там, что-то где отвалилось, где там В общем, это вот его детище настоящее.
Я тоже в числе поклонников этого фонтана, я живу недалеко.
I am also a fan of this fountain. I live not far from it, and I know and see how young and old people love to walk and enjoy the aura, the microclimate of this fountain. And this fountain will celebrate its 40th anniversary this year. This is such a beloved place. Now renovation work is underway. It is being landscaped and we are looking forward to it, again sparkling with transparent and shiny silver streams, giving the citizens coolness.
Прозрачными, блестящими, серебристыми струями, даря горожанам прохладу.
Vladimir Sergeyevich Tverdokhlebov has worked on many projects. 6 mosaics adorn the interior and facade of the House of Scientists of the National Academy of Sciences, and they are dedicated to outstanding figures of culture and science of Kazakhstan. The medieval philosopher Al-Farabi, Akın and philosopher Abay, historian, ethnographer Chokan Valikhanov, educator and teacher Ibray Altınsarin, geologist Kanish Satpayev.
Художник не просто пытается передать портретное сходство с изображаемым персонажем.
The artist is not just trying to convey a portrait resemblance to the character depicted, the features of which have come down to us only through some way to invention of photographs. These are rather speculative images, but nevertheless, the artist was faced with the task of expressing both the portrait likeness and through the attributes that he places in the images in the hands of the models. It reveals their focus and their characteristics, and their depth of thinking, cognition, erudition. And of course, in general, there is such a very serious preparatory work with these portraits. Since these are sketches, these are search materials that are already embodied in the final in this huge, truly monumental, both in size and significance, in this work.
Произведений в этой работе.
Я, будучи сотрудником Института философии в свое время,
As an employee of the Institute of Philosophy, at one time I very often had to visit the House of Scientists. And each time I watched and examined the monumental works of Vladimir Sergeyevich with a great sense of delight. These are mosaics, stained glass windows, magnificent, luxurious, bright, juicy, interesting in plot, stained glass windows, tapestries, and these are absolutely unique monumental works.
витражи из стекла, есть гобелены. И это совершенно уникальные монументальные произведения.
But there is another unique mosaic, the so-called Florentine Mosaic, Vladimir Ilyich Lenin, from semi-precious and ornamental stones. It decorated the wall of the large conference hall of the House of Scientists. However, after Lenin's personality in the post-Soviet space ceased to be relevant, the panels were covered with cloth, although they could have been left as a monument to the era and as a magnificently created work of artistic architecture. Florentine mosaic is one of the most difficult techniques because it involves working with stones, the shape of which repeats the outlines of the object in the space of this composition. In general, many art critics, experts characterize this mosaic in Tverdokhlepov's version as one of the best. Indeed, this is an absolutely grandiose decision and one of the legendary iconic works.
первая флорентинская мозаика из...
The first Florentine Mosaic. Florentine Mosaic of semi-precious stones. Geologists from all over the Soviet Union came. They took cars, went on reconnaissance around the Republic, and they brought them. Then they sought and discovered a beautiful color palette. And we selected this whole palette. 20 square meters is a good mosaic. It looks like it was done yesterday.
Такая мозаика хорошая, она как будто вчера сделана.
Numerous stained glass windows and mosaics, wall paintings, tapestries. The color palette of these works amazes how subtly and magically the artist sees this world. Vladimir Tverdokhlebov can be called an innovator. He was the first to convey the cultural heritage of the Kazakhs in his works. He used the national color in monumental reliefs and mosaics. His work is generous gift to the entire Kazakh people.
Художник — это экспериментатор, это как бы еще и научный такой работник.
An artist is an experimenter. It is, as it were, a scientific worker who dreams deeply. He studies everything. I have so many books related to all the materials to try. There is simply not enough time. I would still work with the mosaic, because it is a durable material and it is very pleasant to work with it, to prick. I have tools. The artist himself works. It's such an interesting job. And in every pebble you can see the whole sea of everything.
У меня весь инструмент есть. Художник сам работает. Это такая интересная работа. И в каждом камушке ты можешь увидеть целое море всего.
И помимо этого большой вклад он внес как мастер гобелена.
And besides this, he made a great contribution as a master of tapestry. He created a significant number of tapestries, which today are the pride of the decorative and applied art in Kazakhstan. These are completely different plots. These are large formats. They are the skill of an artist. They are the skill of the creator of these tapestries. They are amazing. A great master, a talented person. I think he happily embodied his abilities in almost all genres. I think that the fate of Vladimir Sergeyevich Tverdokhlebov is amazing and fully happy.
Счастливо воплотил свои способности практически во всех жанрах. Я думаю, что удивительно и полноценна и счастлива судьба Владимира Сергеевича Твердохлебова.
У него есть замечательная серия и живописных произведений, и акварельных работ.
He has a series of paintings and watercolors. By the way, professional artists constantly point out that watercolor is one of the most difficult forms of art in technical terms. Tverdokhlebov's watercolors retain the amazing lightness that is inherent in this type of art, and it is amazing that here, too, he managed to find those artistic techniques that are so appropriate in relation to this particular technique. He feels some kind of state, the state of the weather. The wind is blowing. All this is shown in his works. He is very focused, somehow squinting his eyes, somehow attentively grasps everything.
Как-то все вот охватывает, видимо, целиком.
А то, как у меня получилось, ну, это значит, я такой человек.
And the way I did it, it means that I'm such a person, that I have all these connected with nature, with flowers, that which pleases people. Everything in this life is natural. Everything that you have, that you do, as a result receive and live life, all this is natural.
И уходишь из жизни. Это все закономерно.
Vladimir Tverdokhlebov is an excellent painter. His paintings are dynamic and shine with the sun, air, powerful energy charge, a kind and bright look at the world. He is undoubtedly a rare and original artist who, with his bold experiments in graphics, oil, watercolors, never ceases to amaze with the sophistication of taste and skill. Watercolor sketches reflect the beauty of European nature, picturesque areas of France.
Большое впечатление на меня произвела серия акварелей.
I was greatly impressed by the series of watercolors when he visited and lived and worked in France. And this series is so airy and transparent. There is so much admiration for the places that he wrought. Bridges of France, bridges of Paris and other cityscapes.
Мосты Парижа и другие городские пейзажи.
Я очень благодарен, конечно, вот этому.
I am very grateful to the new time, which allowed me to be in Paris in 2004. Every person, every artist dreams of being in Paris at least once, see the Louvre, see other museums. This is in the center of Paris, the Cité School, but it is not a school. Professional artists used to come there.
Но она не школа, она профессионалы туда приезжают.
Говоря о Твердохлебове, мы отмечаем вообще совершенно универсальную.
Speaking about Tverdokhlebov, we note the absolutely universal direction of his creative talent, because being a monumentalist, he also creates a huge series of posters, one of the most interesting ways of propaganda. He really has a sense how to make it as spectacular as possible, how to combine visuals with text and content, and at the same time, it is important how he knows how to do it.
Очень важно то, как он умеет это делать.
А плакат это тоже очень серьезная тема.
A poster is a very serious topic. I made posters very well, and they are at the Art Fund. It's good that we had creative bases in the Soviet Union. In Palanga, there was a creative group for a poster. I took part there. We did a good poster exhibition there. My works were displayed there. His series of posters for the Red Cross have won prizes in international poster art competition.
Художник настолько органичен, что
The artist is so organic that he is absolutely, fully realized in each of the art forms. He is absolutely organic in everything, like the wonderful dragon mosaic. Bright colors create an absolutely amazing composition that is filled with fantasy and a sense of fairy tale.
Его жизненная позиция, его вот еще свой характер, который...
His position in life, his character, all this is present in his works. You can even feel some kind of strength, such power, energy. I think this is evident in his works. In Almaty, he met his love, a beautiful girl, a Kazakh woman, as it turned out for life. The beloved daughter Anar was born here. A garden is growing, planted by his hands. And today, thinking about his creative life, he is sure that everything turned out exactly as it should have happened. And we are proud that a brilliant artist and a person with a big loving heart lives in our country, and we say thank you.